Sarah with the After School Enrichment Accelerator, and I'm with Carolyn Macaluso, Early Childhood Education Director at Yew Chung International School.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for being with me today. I want to ask you guys how you choose your enrichment programs.
Yeah, so I think there's a few things that come into play when we choose our enrichment programs. We are a bilingual school, so when we have our extra activities, we also like to try to incorporate that as well if we can, to make sure that our children are hearing, multiple languages, or are able to experience that type of enrichment on the outside. Also take into account parent recommendations, or hearing what other children are taking outside of school. Gives us a good idea of what families might feel is important or what they want to have their children explore. So if we can bring that in, that's one less place or one less stop they need to make outside of school.
Place is it's a one shot, right? They don't have to wake up Saturday morning and go do the extracurricular because it's handled in school.
Yes.
But it sounds like it does support stuff that you do here already too. Mm-hmm. Just language, or is there any other equivalent?
No, we focus on the whole child, so not just language, but physical development, science and technology, expressive arts. So all of those are integrated into our curriculum.
How many outside courses do you include right now?
We currently have 3. So we have sports currently, we have ballet, and we have music.
Do they rotate or change?
It's pretty consistent. In early childhood, we feel it's really important to have consistency, with our children, so that we're not having to, rebuild or build that relationship every single time with somebody new.
Okay.
And so it's important that the people that we bring in have experience with early childhood, because some might be, great musicians or great dancers, but don't have experience with young children, and that's a completely different ball game, I feel. So it's important that they're familiar and know how to work in an environment with young children.
So what other enrichment have you had?
We've had some demos come in, and we've also done another music class. So currently we have English music class, but we also did a Chinese music class, which was really popular as well. And those are the main ones that have been very consistent for us.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering if there was a lot of culturally specific arts that would be tapped, like martial arts. I've seen a good bit of ECE martial arts. Yeah, so we've explored that, and we're continuing to explore that. We also need to make sure that everything will fit into the schedule, because there's a point where it's too much. Completely.
And so we don't want that to happen either, since we are working with 2 to 5 years old. So
it doesn't sound like you get a lot of pressure, like outside parental pressure, like pushing your hand towards what subjects to include, right? Like I know that I've heard many enrollment directors say, like, enough with begging us for soccer, right? Or enough with X, Y, or Z, because there's always a desire. Yeah. But you guys have really chosen what you want.
Yeah. And I think part of that is we have great vendors yourself.
Stop.
So I think not only do the children form a good relationship with those people, but our parents also have peeked in on classes and things like that, and they also trust what's going on. Their children go home talking about it, so there's no need for them to worry either.
Is there any, because I came to you when you were starting enrichment, right? Mm-hmm. Did you have to do anything to alert the parents, or was there any sort of messaging that needed to be is it a hard thing for a school to do?
For us, I think the parents thoroughly enjoyed it. I think we run it a little bit different than some schools, in the fact that all of our children participate in enrichment.
Right.
So the parents are not necessarily signing up for particular classes for their children, but we want all of our children to be able to experience and have these opportunities.
Okay, so then that means children It's coming out of the school kitty, right? It's not coming as a separate level of revenue. So then how have you gained any revenue from having enrichment?
Yeah, so that's the interesting thing with us. I feel we actually don't get revenue from our enrichment classes, but I think it in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to enrollment or people coming in and we tell them like that their enrichment classes are included, that's a big bonus, and they're like, oh wow, that's great.
So then, do you have a sense that, I mean, it's hard to say because it was right post-COVID that you started enrichment.
Yeah, you know, I don't think we've done enough to see like what directly has impacted enrollment, but I do know that it has not made it go down. Like it's definitely enhanced it.
You guys were not expecting, when you added the enrichment, to increase your revenue. So why did you decide to do it?
We feel it's important. We feel that all children should be able to explore many different avenues. We're really focused on inquiry, and letting the children to explore and be curious. And by bringing this in, it only enhances it. It doesn't take away from it.
Right.
And gives children the opportunity to really see, what they might be interested in, and that they can continue to explore or even go further with outside of school.
Oh, that's lovely. What do you think other schools should have as expectations of enrichment providers?
I think that you have to know who you are, as a school. You need to know your demographics and what your parents or families might be interested in, because I think that does play a factor. Always be open to feedback. If they have people that they recommend because of experience, it's always worth checking out. Most places are great and will come and do demos and talk and just to kind of build community and build a sense of relationship or foundation around that.
What kind of communication do you have about your enrichment to your population? Do you tell them it happened, or is it just like part of the natural school day?
Yeah, so I think before they start, we kind of let them know what's lined up for the year. And then I think weekly, our teachers post daily, on our online system that we use. So when they have an enrichment class, they're usually highlighting those, whether it might be a new song they sung or something they danced to or a new sport or exercise they learned. They'll usually highlight those types of things.
Thank you so much. This was Carolyn Macaluso at Yew Chung International School's Early Childhood Education Program.